Oh, I thought that I got him to bark. Sorry. All right. No, no. Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Rita. Sorry about the dogs. They are, yeah. Stop now. Thank you. Oh, that's my Lola. Hey, good morning. What is it? It's Wednesday. It's the first day of June. It's the first day of Pride Month. Sit down, Lola. Please sit down. Good morning to all of my friends. I'm going to say hello. Hi, Donna, Pat. Hi, Gail and Sherry. And yeah, June 1st is a short month, but a lovely month. Everything's blooming, and this is also Pride Month. It's a big deal here in my community, in Salem, especially, which is right next door. And we were playing yesterday with the Autopress, and I want to do that again, but this time I want to do Infusible Ink with the Autopress. And I wanted to do a project that I saw yesterday and I've seen before, but I just couldn't figure it out. So let me show you. We're going to just jump right on in here. So when you're working on your iPad, or not on your iPad, maybe you're working on your desktop and you go to the home button, you can, if you go home, you'll see right here these triple dots. You see these triple dots? Those triple dots, you're allowed to choose the category that you want to look and search in. And here is the home, what the home page looks like now. It's quite a few new cards there. And sometimes it might be a little bit hard to find projects. So searching is your best method. We're going to type in the word pride like we did yesterday, and you'll see all these lovely pride projects. And this is a project, this diversity tote, I've been wanting to make, but I have the proper infusible ink for it. This is the infusible ink. It's called Patterned Rainbow Triangle. And I want to make it, but I had to do some thinking about this because there's writing. Now I know that the writing is done with the infusible ink pens, but follow me here. If we were to put the pen in at the same time that we're doing the cutout, then we would it wouldn't come out, right? Because this is a part that we'd peel off. And so then I thought, okay, well, we'll have to do it in two sections, which is actually how they've done it here. So here it is. And if you were to hit make it, you can see that there's one mat that has the writing and one mat that has the cutouts. And that's how they've done it. But for me, I was like, how am I going to pair those together? So what I decided to do is, instead of doing it that way, I was going to cut out this whole thing using paper, regular paper, and then using my my infusible ink pen, right? And then I'm going to duplicate this. So let me just duplicate it. Oops. I accidentally turned it and I don't remember how to. Oh, here we go. Okay. And I'm going to duplicate it. And instead of, I'm going to ungroup it and take out the letters, the second set of letters. Now I have one sheet. I want to make sure that they're both the same size. So let's go ahead and edit and line center. And I will make sure that they're the same size. So let's just go ahead and make sure that they are, we'll do 11.5 for this. And unfortunately, this one didn't do that. So I have to go back and do it again. So 11.5. There we go. Okay, so now when I go to do this, I am going to have two different colors. I probably want to change the color on this one. I'm going down to basic cut, and I'll just choose a different color. All right. So this one here, the one without the letters, we're going to cut out in Infusible Ink. And this one, we're going to cut out in paper using, using our Infusible Ink pen. And I'm using this pen today. This is from the Infusible Ink pen set for 0.4 millimeters. And I'm going to use the black because I think the black looks really good, even though look at all of these wonderful, yummy colors that we could use. But I like that we're using this rainbow sheet stuff, and it's really kind of cool. So so that's what we're going to be using today. So let's go ahead and hit make it. And you will see, I think because the last time I used this, I selected without matte, that these are going to be on without matte because I use like smart materials, but I don't want that. So I need to go ahead and change the material type to on matte because paper and also paper and also Infusible Ink always gets cut on the, let me just do one thing here, get cut on the mat. Okay, so here we go. There's our first one. It says without matte. There's a second one that says without matte. So we need to go up here to this little matte thing and choose material load type. You see that? Material load type, and we're going to choose on matte. We have to do that. All right. It's trash day, so they're going kind of cuckoo. I apologize. All right, so we have to do that for both. Now, the other thing, too, is when you're doing transfer, Infusible Ink transfer sheets, you do need to mirror your, well, the trash people are coming in. Sorry, guys. They're really early. They're really early today. So they don't usually come this early, but oh well, we'll have to deal with it. That's the beauty of doing this from my home, right? So we're going to mirror this, both of these. All right. So we're going to mirror this because we want the lettering to be correct when we put it on. And also when we do that, we're going to also have to mirror the actual cutout. Okay. So here we are. We're all ready. You can see that it's mirrored. We're going to hit next. And I'm going to be using my Explore 3 today. So let's move it a little bit closer so you can kind of see. We're going to also use the Autopress today. So it's already on, and you can see the blue is lit up. That means that it's connected via Bluetooth to my iPad, so I can control it from my iPad. So let's have a look. We've got these two. So the first one is just the cutouts of the animals. So that's going to be our Infusible Ink. I don't know why I keep calling it transfer. It's our Infusible Ink, which is a setting under iron-on, and there it is, Infusible Ink transfer sheet. Going to choose that one, and I have taken and put my Infusible Ink on my mat. I have put this shiny side on the sticky part. Okay, so this is what this right here, this is Infusible Ink. It's basically ink that has turned to a solid that when heated up will turn to a gas and become part of the shirt or whatever blank you're going to put it on. Okay, so I'm going to just put this in and hit this button. And I've already told it transfer sheet, so let's go ahead and hit go. One thing that you might want to consider, I mean, it's hard for me here, but one thing you might want to consider is that you do need space behind your machine when you're cutting, especially if it's too close flush up against like a wall or something in the back. That's why I move it a little bit closer. Okay. So there's, you know, so there's not going to get jammed, and that can cause the machine to actually go into like a jam mode. If that ever happens to you where you see that this button turns red, what you need to do is turn it off, turn the machine off, cancel out of what you were doing, and then turn back on again and do it again. You have to cancel out of your cut, because it just kind of like freezes in that position, and it's very difficult to go through it. But I have jammed my machine many times, and so I will tell you that it's really a frustrating thing, but sometimes it's kind of unavoidable. All right, you guys. All right. So it's doing the Infusible Ink transfer sheets. I love this. All right. I don't know why it's probably bumping up against something in the back. Yeah, it's bumping up against the Joy, which I should have moved it a little bit more. Okay, so this is all done. The next up is our paper with the pen. So I'm going to put this in, and I'm going to choose medium cardstock, because even though there's very little cuts here, we still need to cut out some of that to make room for our cutouts from Infusible Ink. And then I've got my Infusible Ink pen. Now, do not try regular ink pens with Infusible Ink. It won't work, okay? Because the ink is specially formulated and has to be able to turn into a gas, and then go into your shirt. Today, I actually did one of these yesterday. I did it on a t-shirt, but today I have a tote bag that I want to show you. What I did, I'll show you this. I'll show you this shirt. I put it on completely sideways. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this one. I don't know. Maybe Owen will wear it, but it's got a V-neck. He doesn't really like V-necks. But when you're setting this up, it's real important that you kind of. I didn't stand up. Remember yesterday I was telling you had to stand up. And so I have both a shirt, which is an Infusible Ink Cricut blank shirt, and I also have this, which is a tote bag. It's a 14 by 14 tote bag. So these are both Infusible Ink ready. So you can't just put Infusible Ink onto anything. So if I went to Michael's and picked up like one of those 2 for $10 t-shirts, the 100% cotton t-shirts, this won't work on Infusible Ink. Infusible Ink won't work on that kind of a shirt. You have to kind of trick the system a little bit, and I'll show you how to do that in a different class, okay? But in this class, we're just going to use a blank that is high polyester count, and that's how I know that it's going to work. So remember, we have to use the heat. The heat will turn the Infusible Ink into a gas, and then we will from there we will press it in the Autopress, and the gas it actually infuses. Why it's called Infusible Ink, it actually infuses onto your blank. Okay. So while we're waiting for this to be finished, it's just about finished. I'm going to open my Autopress and turn it on. The reason why is and I'll move over to the Autopress so you can see. The reason why is that Infusible Ink is done at a very high heat. So in this case, although you could use your mini for infusible ink, it's not the best choice to make. It's just not the best choice to make for product. So it needs to get up to 400 degrees. And how do I know that? Well, I go to the heat guide. So I'm going to the heat guide. Cricut heat guide right here. Okay. And I'm going to choose my Autopress, and the transfer material I'm choosing is Infusible Ink transfer sheet. And then my material is going to be tote bag. Let's do the tote bag first, and we'll hit apply. And you see it has to get up to 385 degrees. And we're going to have to do it for preheat for 15 seconds. And then press it for 50 seconds. So I'm going to change my my pod here to make sure that it goes to 385. And I'm actually going to change the preheat mode to 15 seconds. There we go. See that? All right. So this is all done. Let's take this out. Be sure to cap your pen. These infusible ink pens have a tendency to dry out fairly quickly, so it's important that you keep them capped when you're done using them. And let's have a look at our cutout. So the first cutout, we'll use this one since this one has a little bit of a problem, and I'll tell you about that in a second. All right. So this is our cutout, as you can see, and it is, it's got the writing on it. Okay. Now, a lot of people might say, well, you're not using laser copy paper. And that's right. I'm not. I'm using just regular medium cardstock. It's smooth and it does work real well. So, I think the laser copy paper works well too. I just didn't have any on hand, so I decided to go with the medium cardstock, and it does work really well. So you see that it is backward, and I'm going to put it on like this. And that's why I went ahead and cut out my infusible ink like this, and then I'm going to actually make sort of like a stencil that it's going to rest in. So when you're weeding infusible ink, it's slightly different. It is made out of paper because again, it's paper with the ink sort of on it. And so it weeds a little bit differently. You weed it by hand. You don't really need a weeding tool to weed it. And this is a little bit messy. I'm going to clean it up in a second so you'll know what I'm doing. But so I just wanted to get the bulk of it off so you can sort of start to see what's going on here. So here is the whale. And I'm just pulling this off like this. Now we've got a few little cutouts here that are the bumblebee. And so I want to make sure that those get transferred over. So I'm being very careful about how I weed it around there. And let's get this part off. Why am I having such a hard time? All right, here we go. There's the penguin. Sometimes you need to see the outline to know where you're peeling, right? Okay, here we go. This is, which one is this? Is this the otter? All right, be patient with me. Be patient with the process, Rita. So while I'm doing this, I will tell you that the June giveaways are going to be live at midnight tonight. And what I decided to give away this month is a Cricut bright 360 table lamp. I think we've only given one of those away, and that went to Penny Leo, I think. And I don't know, Penny's usually on. I'm not sure if she's on today, but I wonder if she's had a chance to get her set up. And if she likes it, I wanted to give one of those away. And then I'm sort of thinking about giving away another Bright Pad Go. And then the rest would be paper. I have put together paper starting to come back in stock, which is lovely. And so I've started putting together these awesome paper packs that I think you guys will love. And it's like includes a 3-pack of mats, brand new mats, and also a brand new blade. I gave those away last month, or in May, I should say. And oh, by the way, if you won in May and you still haven't sent me an email, you need to do it right away, please, because I haven't heard from all of you. So if you're one of the 6 winners that that won on Monday, and that means Mary Lou, who won the big prize. Mary Lou, I haven't heard from you. So send me an email at missrita2therescue@gmail.com. If I don't, I know you won because you were on that day. And so I'm a little bit like, oh, come on. I don't want to have to give it to somebody else. Okay. So please, if you won and you want to receive your gift, you need to email me. I've only received half. That's really quite unusual. So I don't know if I have to let you guys know who the winners are again. I know Mary Lou, I didn't hear from you. Jerry Ann, I got a comment, but I didn't get an email, Jerry Ann. I need you to send me the email. Okay. So here it is. Here's my Infusible ink. It is rather large and sort of unwieldy. So I'm going to get my scissors and I am going to cut off this part right here. I don't need it. Oh, good. My Autopress is already heated up. So I don't need that. And I do not need this part here. All right. I'm going to do the same thing with my paper just to kind of match it up. But can you see where I'm going with this? So this is how it's going to match up, like this. I made like a little stencil, just like this. And I'm going to match it up. It's best to do it with this side that's going to get pressed showing, just so you can see that it's all matched up. I'm going to cut this part here. All right. So when this gets pressed, it's going to be pressed this side, you see. And I'm going to try to make it fit a little bit better because I want for the entire outline of each of the animals to show up, you see. And so let's get pressing. Let's move over here a little bit. So there is our Autopress. We already know that it needs to be heated up to 385 and it needs to be preheated for 15 seconds. So we're going to do our tote bag. There's our 14 by 14. I'm not sure if that's a medium or a large. Is it a medium or a large? Does anybody know? 14 by 14. Now, I am going to be extra careful about this because I haven't always had good luck with tote bags for some reason. And I think it would be best for me to put it on sort of sideways. I'm going to make sure that the handles are off of the pad and any kind of like sort of seam like around the side or in the back is not sort of showing, okay, or is part of where I'm pressing, only because in the past I've had some problems where it's caused some problems with the way that the tote bag worked. And I remember doing these at Cricut headquarters back in, what was it? What year was it? 2019? Oh my God, has it been that long? Has Infusible Ink been out for that long? I think it has. All right, so it's all set. I am going to take my rolling thing to make sure that nothing has gotten onto my bag. And I'm glad I did it because I can see in almost invisible dog hair. All right. Okay. So there we are. And I'm going to take my Infusible Ink stencil with the letter writing, and I'm putting it so that it's facing down here. I want to make sure that I do this correctly. So I am actually going to use the handles as a bit of a guide. And I want to make sure I've pressed out those, sort of like puffed out the sides so that it will all sort of reach there, okay? So there's where it's going to go. For good measure, I might just take some tape, just so that we can be a little more, feel a little more comfortable about the way this is going to work. So let's do that. Now I'm thinking, I hope that this is on correctly. I'm going to stand up because I don't want another problem like before. So yeah. All right. I sure hope this works. It worked yesterday and when I did the shirt, but you know, tote bags have their own little, it's a different kind of fabric too on the tote bag. So I really hope this works. Please work. Now, we got to go back to the heat guide and find out how many seconds we have to heat this. I'm a little concerned about this here. I really hope it turns out okay. Let's go back to that heat guide. And we got to turn it on for 50 seconds. All right. So it's 385 for 50 seconds. Fingers crossed that this works. And here we go. All right. So you notice when the machine closes, it makes kind of a noise. And then that noise is to adjust the pressure. So depending on the height of the product that you have in there. So if you're using, say, wood that is thick wood, I think it can go up to like 1.5 inches, maybe 2. I'm not really sure. I just forgot something. I totally forgot the butcher paper. Oh dear. I hope that's not going to cause a problem, but it probably shouldn't. Oh, why can't I ever get this 100% right? Oh well. All right, now that the seconds are done, it's still really, really, really hot. So let us take it off of that to cool it down. And we can start peeling. Even though it's hot, you probably want to let it cool down. This is not a question of did it stick, but rather did all the ink turn into a gas, okay? So let's peel it off. Hey, it looks pretty good. The only thing that didn't come out too great is my bee swirl, but that is probably because I didn't have the whole thing on the bee swirl. So there is my completed tote. Let's get the t-shirt so you can see the difference. So the tote bag is kind of like, it's like a woven. So I'm going to get up real close so you can see. You see, it's woven, so you can't really pull it, but it is really in there. There's nothing coming off from this, okay? And look at how cute the letters came out. Transgender. There's a non-binary. And the alligator, asexual quail, and a penguin, and then a bisexual whale. So cute. And this is how it turned out on the shirt. I think it looks better on the shirt. It has a texture to it. But I don't know. I think it looks more vibrant on the shirt. So I think with the extra one that I cut out, I'm going to do it on the shirt. The only thing I did wrong on this was I put it over to the left a little bit. But the next one that I do, I will use the proper placement. And we are sort of free with time. So if you want to stick with me, we can do the other shirt because that happened really quickly. Now, here is the leftover. So just so that you can see. So see how it's like all faded? You can't reuse this because all of that ink had turned to a gas, except in the little places it didn't kind of work in those little places, but turned into a gas. The gas was it was forced to go into the blank. That's why you need that polyester, because it needs to accept the ink. And then also here on our written part, you see that is definitely lighter. I wouldn't try using that a second time. So we did also do this. We cut this one out. So let's go ahead and take it off of our mat. This mat, for some reason, is super sticky. I don't know why. And we'll take this off of our mat. It's like a brand new mat, but it's like stickier than any of the other mats I've had. Isn't that weird? Okay, so going to be careful with this because it's like a stencil. All right. So let's turn this over. And I did have a little bit of problem with cutting. It sort of nicked right near the whale. So I'm going to sort of cut that off. Now, again, remember, this doesn't really matter because, and in fact, if I wanted to, I could just kind of cut this part right off. Same thing with the little bee line here. In fact, I could probably just kind of cut this right out. And would not be a problem because it's not where the ink is going to be showing, right? It's just on this paper is the only place that we want to do the writing, if I'm making any sense. So I'm just going to cut that right out. Cut that out. Cut it out. There we go. All right. And then here's my Infusible ink. I hope this one peels better. And if I wanted to, I could probably take this little section and cut it off and save it as a scrap. Because yes, you can use scraps from Infusible ink. The same rules apply. And so we're going to start at the corner here. And I think the trick for this one is to do the bee thing last. And I'll use my scissors. All right. All right. So any questions about how this works, ask me in the chat and I will check it out, because I want you to try this infusible ink. It's really cool stuff. I mean, it's really, really cool. Now, if you have been bitten by the sublimation bug, so if you have a sublimation printer, it basically works the same way as infusible ink works, where you do need to have special blanks, and then you can print something on your sub printer and then apply it using the Autopress or whatever press you have. I'm not saying that you must use the Autopress, because the other presses work just as well, but I kind of feel like better about the Autopress, because I just feel like I don't have to worry about the pressure. Oh, look how that came out. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Yay. Okay. I don't have to worry about the pressure, because the pressure already, let's do it this way. This and like this, lining it up. See that? See how I just cut that right out? In fact, I'm going to cut this part right here, because I don't need that either. I want my little bees to show up, the little, you know, buzzing along. The every bee I know has that, right? Okay, so I'm just making sure that this is going to showcase my my cutouts. So I'm just making sure it's pressed on there really well. I am also going to cut off this little edge. This is going to help me to center it better. I think that's why I messed up the first one. All right. So let's get our shirt. We're going to turn this pod back to the 15 seconds. Remember, I am going to double check and make sure that I'm using the correct temperature, because I'm using a different blank. So let's go up here and we're going to change it from tote bag to t-shirt and see what happens. Yes, it needs to be a full 100 degrees. So now we're going to switch this over to 400 degrees, and you see those triple squigglies, that means it's heating up, and so it will tell me when it's ready. So in the meantime, I can take my time and get my shirt on there really well, again standing up, and I'm going to take my little roller, roll. I could actually probably, while I'm waiting for it to heat up, I could probably also do the 15-second preheat. I don't think the difference in the temperature is really going to matter too much. I will remember about the paper. Where's my paper? So most infusible ink that comes in a box like this, I think all that comes in this larger box has the butcher paper. So the butcher paper is for protecting your surfaces. So if ink were to sort of get around somewhere, like either on your mat or through your shirt, that sort of thing, that's what the butcher paper's for. Okay, so it is all heated up to the 400 degrees, and I'm going to put it on here. But remember, we cut this one out as 12, like 11 and a half. And so I don't think it's going to fit this way. I think I might have to, let's see how we're going to do this. I hope that this works. Let's have a look. I made this one bigger. I probably shouldn't have made it bigger. And I'm a little concerned because of the edges up here. Because you see here on the mat, it kind of like goes off on the edge. So we're going to give it a try. Okay. So now it's at 400 degrees, and we need to change the time to 45 seconds based on that press, that guide, okay? And I don't think we need tape. It is evenly distributed, but I'm a little concerned right here. Let's see. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Whoops, butcher paper. Butcher paper. Okay. We cleaned it. We preheated it. We got the butcher paper. Okay, ready, go. I did lint roll. I did do the lint roll. Okay. So there's my lint roll. I did do that. So this paper, in case you're curious and you want this paper, it is Cricut Infusible Ink transfer sheets. The pattern is rainbow triangles. You get 2 sheets in here. So if you want to make 2 t-shirts or 2, a t-shirt and a tote bag, and I believe it's on sale right now. So I think it's like $7.50 for this box. But I actually bought a bunch of them. I'm not sure. Is it on clearance or what? Oh, I hope that it got those edges. All right. So let's move it off the platen. And let me move my camera. Yeah. It just slipped when I moved it. Oh, it worked great. Awesome. And it's completely evenly cut. It I think that's the way it was cut. It looks perfect. All right. So this is what the t-shirt looks like. And I used the same materials. I just used a different blank. So this one came out a little bit more vibrant. If you can see, there's the difference. There's the tote bag and there's the t-shirt. But that is how I decided to cut and do this infusible ink. I hope that this was helpful to you. I will make the original Cricut Design Space file available to you. I'll put it in the description of this. And also wanted to just tell you that, again, June, our giveaways are all set for June. They're going to start at midnight tonight. I will post them. And so you can start entering to win the June giveaway, and it will run until the end of June. And let's see, run until the end of June. We will have a special show to pick the winner, and I think it's a great prize package. I haven't figured out what the whole retail value is, but the paper packs that I put together are like worth $150. So I think that's kind of cool. And there you go. All right, everybody. Oh yes, the Patreon giveaway for today. Thank you. Let's see. So yes, the Patreon winner today was is our very own Loretta Catchin is our Patreon winner. What she won is a mystery Cricut cutie. So here's a Cricut cutie. She's going to win a mystery color. This is that Merlot from last week. I think it was last week. Maybe it was a couple weeks ago. And she's going to win a mystery color. I'm just going to reach my hand into my box full of Cricut cuties. And then I am also going to find things that I think will delight her and put them in a package. So Loretta, send me an email with your address, and I will make sure that gets out to you. If you want to be someone that could win our Patreon giveaway, this is only for patrons on Patreon. So that means you have to subscribe and pledge. And by the way, I think they've changed it. You can now pledge yearly instead of monthly. And they have monthly, and the minimum is $5. This supports me. It supports my efforts. I use all the money that comes from there to buy more product. So if you like what you're seeing and you feel that there's some value in it, won't you consider supporting me on Patreon? It's patreon.com, and you would look up Miss Rita to the rescue. I have, I think, about 40 patrons. I'd love to get that number up to 100, and so that I can have a steady income source, that I can be buying all this stuff. I want to buy all these different things so that I could show you how they work. And I'm going to show you, actually, I did buy a couple of new little toys that I want to show you for this coming month. So, and they take your money at the beginning of the month. I, of course, don't get the full amount that you pledge. The minimum is $5. I was toying with doing a $3 minimum pledge. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Okay. And yes, congratulations to Loretta, who is not on today, which is weird. I thought that I would see her today. That's why I was hesitating, because I didn't see her. So, thank you so much, Robin, and thank you for joining me today. And I hope that you try this project. Infusible ink, it's got a few more steps to it, but it really is just iron on. And the results are really just so amazing. And I wanted to show you when you get close to this t-shirt. Look at that. It's nothing is coming off. It is in that shirt, in the fibers, the very fibers of the shirt. It's not going to come off. You can wash it right away. You can wear it right away. You don't have to worry about, turning it inside out or anything like that. And it will last you forever. In fact, like what happens with my son is he grows out of the shirts before they wear out. So he's still growing boy. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for coming today. I will see you again tomorrow. Hi, Kathy. I see Kathy. Hi, Bren, Dawn. Nice to see you all today. We'll see you again tomorrow for another great program of Cricut Chat with Miss Rita. Take care.